Ripple and XRP no longer sidelined, not this run. And from Wall Street to the emerging markets, the pressure it's building and it's coming from every direction. Make no mistake, the SEC. Now they just made a move on one of the most anticipated XRP developments, not of this year, but of all time. A decision that's looming, and what they didn't say may be just as important as what comes next. We'll talk about it. Meanwhile, Ripple, their stablecoin RLUSD, it's quietly expanding its global footprint. This isn't a test. It's already in motion, and it's showing up in places that, might surprise you. And all of a sudden, Wall Street's gears are turning here. A few crypto ETFs just showed up somewhere we've never seen them before. A major step that signals much more than most people realize here. We got a lot of stuff to look at. Let's get into it. The bad news of the day, the SEC delayed Franklin Templeton Spot XRP ETF. The SEC just punted the decision of the XRP ETF to November 14th. Was supposed to be October. Now we got to wait till November. Now, this is the good news, though. That's the final deadline here. If they don't approve it on November 14th, everyone take their ball and go home. It's over with. Maybe try again next year. It's very not likely that's going to happen. By November 14th, it's likely go time. Right now, Polymarket odds show it's 92% probability to be approved by year end. And we know because there's no more time here. Either you're going to approve it or you're not. No more kicking it down the line. Key deadlines, Grayscale's XRP trust faces an October 18th deadline. Again, it likely they'll push all these off till November 14th. But once they do approve, they likely will just give sweeping approval. I think this is why we haven't seen BlackRock. This is why we haven't seen Fidelity. They know this is going to happen. They know this is going to take just a little more time. Watch they swoop in at just the right time. Amazing how they'll magically know. Now, there was a big development today, and it wasn't just for XRP. The DTCC listing, Fidelity, Solana, and Fidelity, Solana, XRP, and Hedera. Their ETFs are now listed on the DTCC. Wall Street's backbone for clearing and settlement here. This is a signal that they're getting ready, that they are preparing. Now, it is not approval. It doesn't mean that, but usually you're not going to list these ETFs if they're not getting in line. The SEC, they're working now with the market. It's going to happen, and it may happen before that deadline there in November. It may happen much before that. We don't know. It could be any day. But, not a big deal. It's going to get done. It's going to get done this year. And when it does, things are going to go crazy. We'll have to see. I imagine maybe they'll punt all of them or approve all of them much earlier than we expect. You're on the clock now. It's going to happen. This isn't, Gary Gensler days. They're going to get this done. It's just a matter of time here. Now, Ripple's RLUSD expanding into Africa. There's another story we're going to talk about here that will show how important that is. Ripple's USD-backed stablecoin is now live across Africa through Chipper Cash and a few others here. And it's not just a financial product, it's solving real-world problems. Now, we got this stablecoin at $700 million and gaining. And make no mistake, if Ripple wanted to, they could just throw a bunch of money in this thing and blow it well past $1 billion. This is really organic growth. They are actually building momentum and users, and that's what matters. Not just a number on the screen. Is there any substance behind that? RLUSD is evolving into both a financial tool and a humanitarian lifeline. So they're using this for a lot of different reasons, powering payments, tokenization, collateral, all sorts of stuff. Relief efforts in Kenya. Like, this is a tool that's going to change the world in a big way. And I think you're going to see a lot of people using the XRP variant of RLUSD in real life, using it for transactions. We've seen Tron have a lot of traction there, and this could be a way to really get XRP global as you have regular folks using the ledger for very real transactions. To me, that's really, really bullish. It's just going to lead to mass adoption long term. Real-world RLUSD adoption. We've seen Vivo Power, a couple of their subsidiaries. They are now using RLUSD for international transactions. Proof that, stablecoins aren't just for trading, using as a base currency, like they have real utility. Vivo Power is saying they get 50 to 70% lower costs, instant settlement, wider market access across Southeast Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. From payment industry, RLUSD is embedding itself into global trade. And We want more liquidity. I've said this before. This is the Trojan horse in the TradFi. You're going to wire it directly into banks and financial institutions. And as soon as you can bring value onto and off of the blockchain easily, it's just going to make XRP and every other financial asset that rests on that XRP ledger that much more liquid and valuable. And this is a big deal. We're starting to see some significant traction here. Now, I pulled this from an article I read today that crypto is going to leapfrog banking in emerging markets, areas like Africa, India, Latin America. They're not just about adopting crypto, they're leapfrogging outdated banking systems, ones that are not servicing them correctly. Traditional finance, slow, costly, and extracting as much value as they can out of you. 24/7 borderless payments, no banking hours, no geographic restrictions, programmable money, user ownership. They're saying that in these territories, sooner than later, you will see the mass of the population move over to using blockchain. And that's going to be a lot of people that have their value in digital wallets, and they can trade into XRP and all sorts of assets. This is going to be huge. This is a game changer. This is what we've been waiting for here for a long time. Now, the GOP, they're having a problem with this freaking bill here. They've been trying to get Senator John Kennedy just threw cold water on the GOP sweeping crypto bill. The bill would divide oversight between the SEC and the CFTC, a historic shift. This is the market structure bill. What is a security? What is a commodity? Senator Kennedy saying they just need more information. We don't have time for more information. You've had years. Let's get this thing through. Banking Chair Tim Scott and others are pushing for action right now. September 30th deadline to get this thing done. This is critical. This codifies everything we need for the long term. So it doesn't matter what creature becomes head of the SEC. We are protected. We need this. If banks and financial institutions and really, even your big tech companies, if they're going to build the future here, they're going to want to know that some creature doesn't come crawling out of the swamp here to go after them down the road here in 4 years. We need this to happen. I think it will. I don't know much about the situation. It's probably just senators trying to extract a little more value for their districts and whatever little side projects they have. I bet you it gets done, but it needs to. It is so important. I hope we see it here. Now, Coinbase, their analyst is saying, listen, the bull run isn't over. And for much of the broader crypto market, it hasn't even started yet. I agree with this. Coinbase analyst says crypto rally could run into Q4. I think it may run beyond Q4. We'll see. You have to watch it develop. The narrative of a seasonal Bitcoin slump may be weaker than most think. Strong liquidity, favorable macro, treasury holdings are expanding, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. So your big ones are seeing a lot of traction here. Even if smaller players consolidate, the large caps have a strong floor. And again, this space is going to take off. We are getting so close. I was saying that people are going to front run these ETFs possibly this month, but if they're going to punt it out another month, well, that might kind of line up more with what we would traditionally expect, and that's fine. Doesn't matter. It gives us a little more time to fill out our portfolios, get those cryptos on sale while you can, because they're going to be going up soon, in my opinion. Not financial advice, though. Avalanche has a $1 billion raise. Avalanche is planning to raise $1 billion to launch 2 crypto treasury firms with millions of AVAX tokens. And this mirrors much what we see with MicroStrategy's. Again, I don't mind a corporate holding money in cryptocurrencies to protect their value against inflation, debasement, all that stuff, fine. But these crypto-only treasury companies, I think this is going to be a nightmare at the end of this cycle. And I'm not saying it's going to be like every other 4-year cycle, but every cycle comes to an end. We are born, we are die. Markets go up, they go down. There will be an end. People are arguing otherwise. They are wrong. There will be hard times again. And this is going to be a problem. I think a lot of these, maybe not all of them, but a lot of these crypto treasury companies don't have a lot of thought behind them, and a lot of them will blow up. I'm sure some will be successful and structured correctly, and that's fine. But, everyone wants to do this. With every cryptocurrency, you got to have a crypto treasury company. Not a huge fan of at least most of them. I think there are some that show some potential here. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.